Hey guys, now today I'm going to talk about taking 100% responsibility of our lives. Yeah, before I start, I just want to give you a quick example of why I'm talking about this. So, right now, I've been working with a client that has been doing really well for the last 2 or 3 years. But then the market event happened and the market crashed for a while, and a lot of people lost their money. And when that happened, a lot of people who were actually doing really great with this company's software, they started blaming this company. And before that, they were not complaining at all because everything was going really fine. They had been making good amount of money every month. But suddenly in a week, something happened and it was like a global event where a lot of people, whether they were in stock market or options market or a forex market, they lost a lot of money. But what happened after that was something that I learned and want to share about this on this call. So this company is very transparent about what they do, why they do, and they have always been upfront about that. So in a way, they took 100% responsibility for what happened. They did not shy away from making any excuses. They were upfront about that, but at the same time, it was important for them and everyone to understand that it was not the company's fault. It was a market event, a global sell-off happened, and a lot of money was lost. A lot of people who were like doing really good, they lost a good amount of money. So suddenly, blaming a company which has been helping you achieve your financial goals is not a wise thing to do. But people do that out of emotion, out of fear, out of anger. You know, they still were not ready to accept the fact and still do not accept the fact that it was their responsibility to track their account's performance, to go through the news and try to be knowledgeable about what's happening around the globe, but they did not. Why? The simple reason was because things were really going well for 2 or 3 years. But it's a market, just like life, there's no guarantee in life, right? Yet people take good things for granted, good times for granted. And when the shit hits the fan, they are quick enough to blame, anyone they can find. Do you really think that that kind of attitude will serve them? Or let me ask you this question: if you are not taking 100% responsibility in your life, do you think that you are going to go really far? I think you already know the answer. And that's just an example of a company that I gave. Now let me talk about the example from my own life because you may be able to relate with that. I'm now 34 years old and I've made a ton of mistakes in my life and I still do. But right now, this version of Avinash that you are seeing right now is at least humble enough to realize and be aware about the mistakes that I'm making and proactively working on fixing those so that I do not make the same mistakes over and over again. That's called taking 100% responsibility. If something goes wrong, instead of blaming my wife, my my father, my friends, or anyone else, I mean, it's easy to do. And sometimes I forget that rule that it's 100% ownership. Nothing is going to come my way to save me. If I'm not philosophically and foundationally strong, then no amount of good happenings around the world or things will save me when the bad thing starts coming. Because the fact is, there's no guarantee in life. You make some money, you lose some money, you make some friends, you lose some friends. You, for some days, become really focused on what you do, become really productive, but other days, you just kind of get lazy, waste your time, and then regret about why you wasted all this time. Now, if you are aware and brave enough to acknowledge that it was, it still is, and it will always be your responsibility, you'll start to seeing things around you in a different way. Because then instead of wasting your time, emotion, and energy on wasting and raising fingers on others, you'll start doing self reflection and think about what you could have done. You'll start to make a mental note, or maybe just pull out your personal journal and start writing all the things that you could be doing going forward. That's mental maturity, because you are now aware of the secret that is responsible for the success of great men who are our inspiration. Take it, for example, Mahatma Gandhi, Napoleon Hill, and there are many examples. My favorite is Jim Rohn, the greatest business man and motivational speaker of all time, in my opinion. He talks a lot about, you know, fixing your philosophy, because if your philosophy is, misaligned with your vision of what you can be, then it's very easy to, know, blame others, blame yourself, and be stuck at where you are right now. But eventually, when time starts passing and you are not humble enough to realize that what's going on is absolutely your fault, then you will just be like the 95% of the crowd who are just being dependent on government, their society, their environment, their jobs, their bosses, their companies. They're dependent on annual raise from their companies in order to decide if they should buy the next car or home or not. So instead of being valuable to the market, they just become useful idiots. They become so dependent in a very narrow type of work that they do, that they always become afraid of venturing outside and take some risk. Now, why I'm saying that and how it is, related with taking 100% responsibility, it's simple, because it takes courageous people to go out and do something that they are always wanted to do, but because of fear or hesitation or what people will think about them, a lot of people stop themselves right away. But if you are someone who, instead of being afraid, instead of being hesitated, instead of being full of doubt, still go ahead and take action, then you are the man of courage. Then you realize the importance of taking 100% responsibility in your life. Now you will move forward, you will struggle, you'll fall down, and that's okay. But that's the beauty of this self struggle. You know that you have started finally taking responsibility of your own life. So no matter how many mistakes you are going to make, it's fun because it's your life. Now, for the very first time, you have started to realize how easier and beautiful life becomes when you take starting, when you start taking full responsibility of every decision that you're making. Because every decision that you make decides how you end up doing over the next 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Every decision matters. Even if you're not able to make a decision, that's still a decision. So think about, what have you done so far in your life? What are your achievements? What are your failures? And how often have you taken 100% responsibility when something bad really happened in the past? Think of yourself as a student of your past. What can you learn? What are the things that you can do right now to become a better version of yourself? So that when the same problems come or a different version of the same problem comes, you are better prepared. Because you and I both know that problems are going to keep coming. The only way to solve all the problems is by being dead. So, till the time we are alive, it's important to realize that problems will come in all shapes and sizes. And instead of wishing for no problems, we should wish for more skills, more capabilities, more wisdom in life. And you can only get through by continuously educating yourself through books, seminars, watching a video like this or doing a lot of self reflection and writing, because we all need a mentor, a guide who can show us how to live a peaceful, meaningful life. It's not always about money, it's about maintaining a balance between money, your peace of mind, your happiness, and your life's ultimate pleasure. Because when you maintain a balance, you give equal attention to all of these. I mean, what's the point of making so much money and then getting ill and paying your doctor every month, or visiting hospital and giving 20% of your monthly income, or maybe 50%? Doesn't make any sense, right? Now, of course, having said that, I realize that there are unavoidable circumstances that can lead you into hospital. But I'm just talking about maintaining a simple lifestyle, because a lot of people nowadays, what they do is they are so much confused about going into a lot of directions that their choices have become their liabilities. And when that happens, how can you take responsibility for your own life? True freedom is not when you have absolute and complete freedom. True freedom should have a meaningful constraint that you put on yourself. Without putting that constraint on yourself, you will never be able to understand the beauty and importance of freedom. Freedom means discipline. Discipline means boring. Boring means you need to keep doing certain things probably for the rest of your life. For example, going to the gym or doing meditation, keeping yourself fit, maintaining a diary, self reflection. All these things add up in the end. All these things teach you a lesson every day so that you become stronger, wiser, and better. And when you have all these three elements in you, there is no way you're going to blame outside circumstances for your own misfortunes. You know that things will happen, things have happened, so what? You'll keep moving. And that's the sign of a mature person. So instead of like you know trying to find creative ways to argue with your loved ones or your friends or anyone else, you just end that argument by not arguing. You simply say, yes, it's my fault. I accept it. I'm going to work on that. Yes, I made that mistake. I'm going to fix that mistake. I mean, mistakes eventually happen all the time. I mean, if you ask me, I don't want to give too much attention to the mistakes I made. I just want to give attention to the awareness that I just made a mistake so that I can start working on fixing it and have deep enough humbleness to realize that mistakes will keep on happening. All I need to do is just being honest with myself, with my own vision of where I want to see myself in the next month, year, or 5 years down the line, and then be consistently taking action toward that direction. Because if I'm not doing that, I'm just lying to myself and lying to you. And that's not taking 100% responsibility. It's easier to take responsibility when good things happen, like take credit when something really amazing happened in your life. Let's say, example, you are a manager of a company and you are assigned a quota or a target to meet for this quarter, and your team did really well to meet that target. So in front of your boss, it's easier to take the credit rather than giving the credit to the boys, because of which you were able to achieve your quota. But a lot of people, even when they try to give credit to others, they indirectly, you know, say something that anyone can feel that they're just trying to take the majority amount of credit for themselves. Even they know that. So I'm not talking about that kind of attitude. That is certainly not going to help you, because I had a boss like that, and I left that company, soon after. What we want is a better version of ourselves. So if we see someone that we truly get inspired from, and we know that that person has a certain standard, principles, and morals in life that we aspire for, then it's always better to be around that person. And when you are around that person for a long time, you imbibe some of his aura and personality into yours. And then when you mix those all up with your own unique perspective of life experiences, then you create your own unique identity that you can trust, you can rely on. And when you do that, then a time will come when a lot of people who are on the same journey as you were, they would start admiring you and start following you. So it's just like a cycle. One leader shows path to many, and out of those many, few dedicated people grow up to that ladder and show the path to the rest of the followers. And that's how we are able to continue this leadership and followership cycle. And it's important because the world right now, as you can see, is not in a good shape right now. There are so many wars going on, political turmoil, economic turmoil. Wars are like daily bread and butter. Every time you turn on the news, some war is going on all the time. The recent event of Bangladesh, the war erupting inside, I mean, it has added just another feather in the story. So the key here is the world has never been a peaceful place, but if you just slightly change your perspective, we are living in most probably the most incredible time ever. If you compare it to the past, like just go back thousands of years ago, like 1,000 years ago, or even 500 years ago, a lot of wars were happening. A lot of people were getting killed all the time. People are getting killed right now too, but compared to what happened about 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, we would say we are still living in a much better place. Of course, things can get really better if we intentionally work on that. But we need to realize that there are a lot of things that are beyond our control. You cannot control how your politicians think, right? We can wish for a better and peaceful world, but instead of just wishing, just try to make our own world better. That's another form of taking 100% responsibility. Instead of trying to change others, just change yourself. Because that's the only thing that you have in your control. You do that every time, and you start to see opportunities uh, and people who would love to be in touch with you, who would like to talk to you and make a relationship with you for a long term, professional, business relationship, or even personal relationship. But you cannot do that if you do not have your own personality or your own identity. If your identity is that you are a employee or a citizen, then I would say you need to reflect a lot on who you actually are, because these are simply names that people have given us. Once you go really deep inside who you are, what you're capable of, then a lot of bullshit that you are seeing around will disappear automatically. A lot of stupid things that you are doing, like spending hours on Facebook or Instagram or pretending to be someone you are not, all these things will disappear immediately if you just realize this powerful truth that there is 99% of things that you see around or feel around are completely unnecessary. If you simply shut down to all those things, you'll suddenly be in a completely different world. You'll have a unique perspective about life, and you'll start to see things really differently than you are seeing right now. Now, if you ask me how I was 10 years ago, I would have been laughing if someone would have told me that I would be going on my YouTube channel and recording a video like this. I mean, I was so stupid that I had no awareness about what I was doing, why I was doing, and I was just following orders. I was a very good, order taker because I did not know anything better. Yes, I could have left my job, but then what? And that's the question I struggled for a very long time. Yeah, so what? And I couldn't find answers for 5 or 6 years. And it's a huge time, and I still have some regrets about not trying to be courageous enough to self reflect a lot. And instead, I just chose to waste my time, 5 or 6 years of my time. So it was not taking 100% responsibility. Again, I'm coming back and back and back again to the same topic because it's important to remember that we are only responsible 100% of the time for our own results. Whatever emotions that you're feeling right now, it's just you. You are responsible for that. If someone has made you angry, if someone has pissed you off, it's not them. You allowed them, you gave them permission to piss you off. And I understand it's not easy, it's easier said than done. But that's the challenge. And if we continue to avoid this challenge, we'll continue to live in the same path. We'll never grow. We will never challenge ourselves and go to the next level in our life. The real beauty of living a meaningful life is challenging yourself and doing things that you're afraid of doing or doing things that you are uncomfortable doing because that's where the greatness lies. When you are comfortable enough being uncomfortable, that's when growth starts happening. You know, in one of my videos, I mentioned that I would be recording daily videos from now on, and then after a couple of days, I just kind of disappeared. I got lazy. Again, that was not taking 100% responsibility of my life. I did not honor my words, and I just want to change that. So from today onwards, what I'm going to do is, even if it's for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm going to record a short video of me, and it will not be a makeup or too much polishing on the video side. I just want to be real, humble enough. So as you can see, there's in my background, there's nothing. So I'm not going to change that, at least for now. Maybe in future I'll do that. But for now, what I'm going to do is just come on my channel, record a video like this, and I really do not care who is watching this video or not. All I care is that I'm on this video coming every day and just looking at myself and my life and reflecting on it. Because maybe 5 years down the line, someone will watch this channel or this video and something will click in their brain and they'll be thankful to me. And for me, that's enough. That's the reward I'm looking for. To be able to do something that triggers a change in the behavior, attitude, and take action in a way that changes you. That's what I'm seeking for. That's my own selfish reason for coming here and recording this video. And like I said, I'll be recording much more videos in the future. And if you are on this journey right now, then my best advice is don't be hard on yourself. It's going to take a lot of time. Trust me. So don't focus too much of your attention on results because that's not in your control. Again, it's taking 100% responsibility. You are only in control of the process, your routine, your behavior. The rest is not in your control. So I'm recording this video knowing in advance that perhaps no one will see this video right now or even six months down the line. But maybe after 1 year from now or 2 years from now, when the YouTube algorithm gods start favoring me because I'm uploading videos on a daily basis, then maybe someone would start putting some keywords that will lead them to this video. And that's my reward. Because even money has its own reasons. I have my own reasons. You know, it's good to make decent amount of money so that you become independent, wealthy. At the same time, it's fascinating to be a better version of yourself. That's a fascinating challenge, right? Like coming and reflecting on yourself every day, every week, and then no, reflecting on what goals you have set, how many of those you have achieved, and then taking action, struggling, getting confused, stuck, but at the same time not giving up and keep doing the things that you want to do because that's something that you really love to do. I mean, these are the moments that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I mean, success is not a destination for me. I mean, at one point of time, I was like making 10 times less than what I'm making right now. And I was in the impression that, if I just make like double of that amount of money, my life will change. And nothing happened. So I started making like 4 times more money. And I thought maybe the time will be different. No, the same me. And I started making 7 times more money. And I was like, okay. I started paying, attention to my own emotions. Nothing changed. The more I made, the more I started saving. The more I brutal became with my savings. I was like very mean when it comes to, spending my money on unnecessary things. And I still have this habit since childhood. Then I started making 10 times more money. And I'm still the same. The only difference is I am not worried about a boss or travel to a company. I've been doing this for the last 6 years. So it's been a fascinating journey, and I'm really thankful to God for allowing me this opportunity and luck to be on this journey and be in a position right now where I have enough savings for me and for my family and a little peace of mind to be able to come here and record a video like this. When I was in my job, I couldn't even dream about doing something like this. And again, I've never liked this word job or employee. I think it just should be called something else. Maybe because I have been in the job in my previous life for so long, that's why I started hating it. But again, that was not taking 100% responsibility. It was my decision to get in a job because I did not know what to do next. Someone told me that this company is good, I joined. Someone told me that this position is good, I joined. Someone said take this promotion, I took the promotion. Someone said you need to work for 12 hours, change the shift, come to graveyard shift, or sometimes just work in the afternoon or over the weekends. I did because I did not know anything better. And to be honest, I was really scared as fuck. I was I was so emotionally scared of letting people down that I was willing to let myself down all the time just to make others happy, even if it's for like 5 or 10 minutes. And it took me a lot of time to realize that people really do not care, especially when they have their own problems to give attention to. And they are right. Why should they care about me and my problems? They have their ton of stuff to take care of. But a handful of people who are going through this or may have gone through this like me and have the ability to reflect and be aware of these emotions, they will realize that life is much more than just thinking about the problems. And it's all about trying to do something that can create a positive impact in the lives of people. And positive impact can take many shapes. Sometimes a good song can do, sometimes a good poem can do, sometimes a good speech like will do the job. Because in the end, people just try to do two things: they avoid pain and chase pleasure, right? Our life just surrounds around these two things. But a mentally and emotionally strong person knows that it's worthless to react to pain and respond positively to pleasure. They try to maintain an equilibrium, so they always behave same when things are good or bad. And that's the sign of an emotionally strong person who takes 100% ownership. And when we are able to do that, then life becomes fun. Yes, it's a challenge because without challenge, where's the fun? So I just hope that when you are watching this video, and you may be going through some problems right now. I don't know. But if you're going through any problem, just remember that you have just one life to live, right? So if you're 30 years old, you may have what, like maybe 40 years left, 40, 50 years left, or maybe less. I don't know. So what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to continue living the same way that you've been living so far, or are you going to try to change it and not think about changing it, but actually doing something about it? Because the truth is, no one has absolute clarity about what's going to happen tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. You can plan, at the same time, be prepared to get disappointed. And there's so much fun in being disappointed because you are already prepared. When you are prepared for the worst, and when the good things happen, you take that as a bonus and keep on moving. So in bad times, you just wait for good times to come and keep working hard. And in good times, you prepare yourself for bad times. When you do that, then no matter what happens around you, you will be prepared. If you're investing your money in the stock market in good times, you know that market will not keep going up all the time. It will go down eventually, and you better be prepared. So, as an emotionally strong and mature person, what you'll do is in good times, you'll probably take away 60 or 70% of your profits and just play with those 30% profits. And in bad times, you just go 80% cash and 20% in safe assets, probably gold, Bitcoin, or any other asset. So it's always about being prepared all the time for good and bad things. Because when you do that, you continue to do that for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you will become successful and you will not notice it. But people around you will tell you that you're successful. But in your mind, you'll be like, I'm just like following this simple routine for the last 5 or 10 years. Is that success? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just looking at my bank account, looking at my home, my life, my health, things have gone really better. And that's when you'll realize the beauty of following this boring routine. That's that's what I really meant by discipline constraint. That's what freedom is about. Freedom is not about having absolute freedom or multiple choices. Freedom is about having giving yourself just one choice based on your own intuition and conclusion, and then sticking to it no matter what. Because if you give up on your dreams, then you compromise on your principles. And when you do that, you will find a way to blame others when shit hits the fan. And that's not taking 100% responsibility. So be someone other can look up to and be proud of. But most importantly, you should look into the mirror and be proud of yourself. If that's still not happening, then there's a lot of work to do, and keep on doing that. Because in the end, how you feel about yourself, is way more important than what others feel about you. So when you feel good about yourself, feel ecstatic, feel that you have done your best to achieve your true potential, and you're still doing that, then there are no complaints. They just vanish. You just try to see positive things even in tough times, and you help people who are confused, full of self-doubt and complain, because you know that not long ago you were in the same position. So you would try to help that person be be reflective of their behavior and be aware of what they're going through, and actually letting them know that you hear them, because they want to feel understood. And when they do that, they start trusting you. When they trust you, they will open up and start a conversation, and that conversation will lead to making a decision in their lives that could change their lives forever. So you never know. The only thing that you know is you have just like one life, and in order to live it fully, you have to challenge yourself all the time. And you cannot do that if you're not 100% responsible for your attitude, for your action, for your thought, for the things that you're doing, for the things that you're avoiding. You are, and only you are, responsible for everything that's happening around you. So I do hope that you found this video a little insightful, if not enlightening. And feel free to leave a comment with your suggestion or feedback as to what you want to hear next. If not, I'll come up again tomorrow and talk about something else. I haven't figured out what, but I'll talk about something else. Until then, have a good night and a good life. Take care. Bye bye.